One of the first scenes up that we filmed was when Hardison drops the bag. And I have to beat all these guys up in time for the bag to hit. Now, obviously, there was some movie magic and stuff like that. But I remember when I did it, we did it, and we did it from a wide angle, and then we have to come in and cover it. But and Dean will tell you this story, we did it from a wide angle, and I beat all these guys up. And I didn't beat the guys up. It was a dance. It's a stunt. You know what I mean? And the dance went so well. And I remember trying to impress Dean Devlin because it was like the second thing we shot. And I was hired by Dean. I'd never met Dean until he hired me. And I knew John Rogers. And Dean looked at John and goes, and when the scene was over, he goes, I don't even have to cover that. And John Rogers got up and goes, that's why we fucking hired him. That's a true story. But that's not even the answer to the question. The answer to the question was, can I please have the microphone a minute? Just for a second, and then it's all your time.
This is what it's like every day.
Where the character, yeah, and where the character came awake, and this is a fun story to ask all these people. Where the character came awake was when I was doing the IT guy, and instead of punching people in the face, Dean and I realized that there was a comedy aspect to this cat. It was, I was really channeling Kurt Russell. We talked about this earlier, and in front of Dean Devlin, instead of hitting people in the mouth, there was comedy. And if it wouldn't have been for that, I'm not sure if my character would have said a lot of stuff. I had a lot of Stallone lines, you know what I mean, which is awesome, and which is what I wanted. But we found out that we could play with Elliot, and we could do some stuff. So the character became alive when I did the IT scene, channeling Kurt Russell in Big Trouble in Little China. And Dean Devlin looked at me and goes, I love this. And that's when the character came to life.
Original Leverage got to take place in quite a few different places. Did you have a favorite location that it took place in, not necessarily that you shot in?
The thing about that...
I said Gina!
I think one of my favorite memories of the original Leverage location-wise was when we shot the Kentucky Derby episode, and we had palm trees. I was like, being an English person, I was like, do they have palm trees in Kentucky? But I mean, it was that first season we were in Los Angeles, and so so we had to.
Big LA fan, are you? I love that.
Do you remember that time we were shooting the snow job in the ski chalet, and I was wearing like a snow outfits, and it was like 120 degrees outside, and we were in the base camp, and I think you were there, you, me, Nadine, Tim, Beth, we were all standing around, and we were like, and Alice, and we were all standing around going, it is so hot. We're wearing these like parkas and puffers and snow hats, and we like made eggs on the ground of the base camp. We like fried eggs on the ground. That was crazy. In that episode, yeah, I looked so good. I loved that big fluffy snow hat. That was great. And the Kentucky Derby and that little gingham like halter dress and my big hat. Catherine, was I playing then? Yeah, that was fun.
We are at ElectricCON. We are here with a special guest. Why don't you introduce yourself to everybody and tell us what you do and your involvement with Electric Entertainment?
My name is Austin, and I worked in the production office for Leverage Season 2 and Season 3. I was the production secretary.
Of Leverage or Leverage Redemption?
Leverage Redemption. Or Leverage 2.0, seeing how far back you go. So.
Tell me what it feels like to be here, seeing people celebrate a show that you worked on.
You know, it's so great. It makes all the hard work, the late nights, really worth it. And on top of that, it's great that they come back to New Orleans. It's good to see a studio really put their support into a city that is also putting their, support into them.
Yeah. Tell me, are you a Leverage Redemption fan?
Oh, I'm 100% a Leverage fan. I used to watch the original series with my mom every week, just throughout, start the pilot episode all the way to the finale.
Oh,
so,
wow. I gotta ask about the finale of the original series. Did you cry?
I don't want to answer that on camera.
That's fair.
No, I don't think I cried, but I was more sad that it was over. And it turns out it wasn't.
It was
So,
not.
Good news.
Talk to me about the shirt you're wearing.
Oh, so this shirt is a collector's item. It features a prominent poster in season 2 of the show, starring our line producer and our UPM in wigs and full makeup. They absolutely love it. So
Can we
that's
see
why
the
I wore
back?
it today. Yes. Each one of the songs corresponds to one of our episodes as well as prep.
That is amazing.
They put a lot of work into it.
What are you most excited to see here at ElectricCON?
Ooh, the costume exhibit was super exciting. And I'm also excited to see Christian Kane's concert. Like, I'm pumped. I've never seen him perform live before, so I'm stoked.
That's awesome. Thank you for chatting with us.
Thank you for having me.
Talk to me about this ship, this chemistry. It started with my favorite hate fight, the fight with the flirting.
Yeah.
And it blossomed so beautifully.
Well, obviously, everyone who must understand my job is made incredibly tough because Tiana is hideous to look at, and also a very horrible person. So, but no, in all seriousness, I couldn't be more grateful because we have had so much work together, and you are an absolute delight. No matter what everybody else says,
And I
don't
tried to-
don't listen to them.
I try to make it hard to you.
Really, really lucky because other than the insistence on eating raw onions before every scene, other than that, it's been a dream. But truly, like I feel very, very lucky. We get on like a house on fire, and it's been great.
Yeah. I'm just really happy. Like Richard did something beautiful that I couldn't even imagine, and that's like giving me a hand as a partner and saying we're gonna work through this. And because I've never had a role this big, so he came to me and he was like, we're gonna rehearse it all, and just we're gonna work a lot on it, so it's all gonna be fine. And thank you.
We did.
Yeah.
All our days off, we used to go and initially we'd had gin and tonics. That was how we eased our way in. But yeah, we did. We rehearsed loads, and I'm really pleased we did. Especially that fight scene because it was so pivotal that we got that relationship right in the way it launched. You know.
To a good start. Yeah.
Let's talk about the 2 people that Reese plays. 3 people. Yeah, alternate lane.
Alternate lane counts. Alternate lane is a person too, yeah.
Not in this
But is it?
timeline, Reese. I was just going to talk just about Ian. You know how I feel about Lane. The fact that I let him be part of this conversation. Sorry, that's a personal feeling, and I think you should all love Lane as much as you do. Please don't get mad at me. Oh no. Reese, talk to us about the 3.
What were you saying, yeah?
Talk to me about the 3 characters.
I love you guys.
Talk to me about being 2 different people in this timeline.
It was really funny because the wonderful Jonathan Glassner emailed me and alluded to something. He kind of did that thing that he said there's something big coming for Lane, and I'm like, can you tell me anything more than that? You know. So then I'm like, do I need to apply for another job? He kind of left me with that, and then I got some cryptic email saying, asking me about different accents that I can do, and I'm like, So then I find myself sending him audio notes of different regional accents in the UK, and not really knowing why. So it's all very confusing, and then suddenly you read that episode, and Ian arrives. And then Lane dies, and it wasn't just about my experience of that. It was really interesting to see how Richard reacted.
Furious.
He was fuming, and Christy.
I didn't want to talk about it for a while.
Christy was like, "Don't talk to me about it. I can't talk about it. And it was really interesting to see how it was quite humbling actually how invested my peers were in Lane and acting along, with Lane. And then when Ian turned up, it was the funniest thing. I was mentioning this earlier, so sorry if I'm repeating myself at all, but in the Situation Room, when I arrived as Ian and Lane was gone, between takes, I'm sat in a different chair because Lane's like usually sat over there, Ian sat here, and I'm eating and stuff. And between takes, they're all laughing and joking, and I'm like the new kid at school. It's like they've never met me before because I'm in a different costume, in a different seat, and I'm like, guys, I'm still me. So it was I've never had that experience before, being the old guy and the new guy at the same time. And it was a real challenge because I had to do scenes just alone in a room and play both of those guys. And it was, while other people were saying, do you remember that scene we did yesterday? I'm like, Reese, do you remember that scene we did yesterday?
We are back here at ElectricCON, and I am with
Letitia.
favorite electric entertainment TV show.
I'm a huge Leverage fan, Leverage Redemption. Those are my things. I've seen the others, but haven't been a big fan of the others just because I haven't had enough time to watch them all. But it's always really fun watching electric entertainment shows because they are just chill and fun and reminds me of the syndicated TV shows of the 90s where I'm like, it's the middle of the day. I'm not feeling great. I get to watch this. It makes me feel great. And that's why I love it.
Favorite character?
Oh, gosh. I feel like I love them each individually. So I love Sophie.
Okay.
And please do not take this as a negative thing at all. But I love how Gina, whether it's the original Leverage or Leverage Redemption, she's very much an adult. And it's so hard to see shows that be like, this is a full-grown adult woman who has an entire life, and we will respect her and all of the experience she brings to the table. When do we see women over the age of 30 or 40 being like, I'm a badass and you will respect me? And I'm like, yes, I want to be like you when I grow up.
Wow.
So that's one of the reasons why I love Sophie.
Perfect.
But Hardison and Elliot, I just love them all.
Thank you so much for being here with me, being here at ElectricCON. We really appreciate your insight, and keep being a Leverage fan. Go enjoy the con.
I'm so excited. Thank you so much for the interview.
Absolutely. We are here sitting with the beautiful Jessica Green. Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I am so good and so happy to be here with you. You've had a lot of action from, the Outpost to the Librarians, the next chapter. Big things are happening for you, and this is the first ElectricCON. How are you feeling?
Oh, I feel amazing. Yeah. Honestly, it's been so incredible walking around and getting to meet the fans and getting to chat to them about the Outpost.
Right.
But the exciting thing for me has been the response for the new Librarians. Because originally when they first released that they were doing a new Librarians and there was going to be a new cast, the original fans were a little bit like,
What are we expecting here?
I don't know if I'm going to get on board with this. And then we showed the first 15 minutes yesterday and we got a standing ovation. So to get that kind of response back from the original fans of the show was just, it was everything for us. It means that we did a good job and that, we stayed true to the franchise, and hopefully the fans are going to love it.
That's incredible. And Dean Devlin created this role for you and with you in mind. Is there pressure on you? How do you feel about that and embodying Charlie?
Oh, it's just the ultimate compliment. Dean's incredible and he's such a genius with what he does with his shows, and for him to believe in me enough and give me an opportunity to be in another one of his shows and to write this role for me was just, it's everything. And hopefully I've done him proud.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have any favorite moments from The Outpost?
Oh my gosh, so many.
Need to count.
So many. I think my favorite thing from The Outpost was honestly just getting to go to work every day with your best friends. Like I've been so lucky with the shows that I've worked on where even from my first one when I was 16, I'm still best friends with the two girls I did that show with the Outpost. Every time I'm in London, every time Imi and Azuka and all that ever come to LA, we stay at each other's house. Like, we're literally best friends.
Yeah, it's a family.
It just becomes a family.
Right.
And like Anan, who plays Janzo, one of my best friends for life. Like, I think getting to work on these shows and getting lucky enough to have an incredible cast, that's a blessing, because it doesn't happen on every set. You have to be really lucky, and I've been fortunate enough to get it on 3 of the shows I've worked on, and 2 of them are electric shows. And just the memories and the laughter that we have, and the behind the scenes that you guys don't get to see, but just having way too much fun. So yeah, no, there's just insane amount of memories from those shows.
Electric Entertainment just nails having the perfect cast. You know, y'all get along perfectly, you bounce right off each other, you build characters from one another. And how does it feel being back with your cast? You know, like, y'all are family. You're here in New Orleans all together celebrating ElectricCON.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's been amazing. Like, Reese, I haven't been able to see Reese in about 2 years. But it's like I saw him yesterday. We just get along like a house on fire, and getting to meet the other cast members from the other show. I met Richard last night. He's amazing. I met John from the original Librarians. Fellow Aussie, like, he was awesome. But no, we've had an absolute ball here and been running amok in the city, so it's been great. But I think Dean, actually, if you chat to him, he takes pride in casting people who are not only good on screen, but good off screen, because that makes such a difference.
You are the light that, you know, comes into the room and just makes things happen. So we really appreciate you here at Electric Entertainment, ElectricCON, and thank you so much for joining with me.
No, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
My name is Jade from Chicago. My question's for Elise. First, thank you so much for playing a queer woman. It's so awesome to see a queer character part of the Leverage crew. And my question is, like, how early in the process did you guys know that character was going to be queer?
So I got a breakdown for a character named Brenda, who who was 20-something and is comfortable with playing LGBTQIA+. And I was like, dope, because that's me. And I think, I don't know as far as like before I was cast, but it was always on my breakdown, and it's always on my life, and it's always on my shoulders. So thank you for that question, and thanks for just mentioning that. Thank you.